And so those are some of the things that I hope that you're considering when you are practicing your reading at home and practicing how to read like a fluent reader. Today, I have a telephone up here. I brought in a telephone to introduce our technology to you. And the reason that I have this phone today is because I'm hoping that when you go home, that you're going to be practicing some fluent reading, and I'm going to give you a chance to call Mr. Michael and read to me on the phone. I am not going to be on the other line, though. You're going to be leaving me a message. And there is a telephone number that I'm going to give you. I actually have a sheet here that explains to your mom and dad what our lesson is today on Fluency and how this program works. And the telephone number that you're going to call Mr. Michael on is written in this last paragraph here. And what you're going to do is you're going to practice at home. At least I hope you will. And you're going to practice reading a story at home. And you're going to practice it maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 times. And when you think to yourself, you know what, I can read this story fluently. I really want to call Mr. Michael and let him hear me reading it fluently. And so then you're going to take your phone, you're going to dial this number. And when you call the number, you're going to hear my voice. And it's going to say something like, "Hello, boys and girls, this is Mr. Michael. I can't wait to hear you read for me." And so then, after the beep, you're going to start reading into the phone. And I don't want you to read for a very long time. I want you to read for about 5 minutes. Maybe 6 or 7 at the most. But please don't read longer than that. And what I'm going to ask you to do is read a story, or maybe just a part of a story to me, so that I can share, or so that I can hear your fluency and I can hear you reading to me. Now, the neat thing about this technology is that not only is it going to record you reading, it's going to call my cell phone. And my cell phone is going to ring at home or wherever I'm at, and there's going to be a message on my cell phone that says, "You have a new message." And I will know that somebody in our class has called and left me a message by reading fluently. It also is going to record your voice, that I can download it on the computer, and I may share some of these with our class. And so if I have some boys and girls reading to me, I may decide every day to play somebody's reading so that you can hear what a fluent reader sounds like. But you have to make sure that you're reading fluently, because I don't want to model something that is not good fluent reading. So I'm going to show you how all this technology works. Like I said, you're going to call a number. The telephone number is listed right here. And it's a local number from where you live. It should not be any long distance charges, so it's free for you to pick up your phone and to call this number. The number is 717-814-8025. Now I'm going to call this a couple times so that you can kind of see how this does it. And I brought in a speakerphone today so that you can hear what the message is when you call this telephone number. Remember, it's not going to be me, it's going to be a recording of my voice. And it's going to be telling you to leave a message, or in other words, it's going to tell you to read a story fluently. So let's just listen to see what the message that you're going to hear sounds like when you call. So I'm going to call the number. Oops. Try that again. It's hard to read upside down. My cell phone's going to start ringing.
Where is your cell phone?
It's right here. I'm not going to answer it because I want you to hear what's going to happen.
Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Michael. I'm excited to hear you read to me. When you're ready, go ahead and start reading. Remember, read like a fluent reader.
This is you. You would start reading after that tone. So I'll just go ahead and I'll start reading. Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else in Natville. Every time he thought of a new one, he thumbtacked it to his bulletin board. Safety tip number 77. Never stand on a swivel chair. When you're finished, you're going to hang up. Okay?
Oh. Can we read 3 pages? Or how many pages?
Give it a minute, and what's going to happen is the computer is going to send me a text message. You all know what a text message is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so the computer is going to send me a text message telling me that I have a Google voicemail. Because this is what this program is, actually. You take a look here at the screen. Have you ever heard of Google before?
Yeah.
If you are on the computer and you're trying to look up something and you're searching for something, you might go to Google, and Google has a search engine. Well, there's also a component here called Google Voice. And what's going to happen is, when you go into Google Voice, or when I go into Google Voice, I'm able to retrieve the message that you gave me. So if I take a look here, my cell phone right now is saying that I have a missed call.
Answer it. It's you. It's you. Yeah, that was.
And then I've got a message here that says, you have 1 new Google voicemail. So that's telling me that somebody has called and left me a message. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I can see what you read on the computer, and then we'll be able to downplay it so that you'll be able to hear what it sounded like when I read into the telephone.
What was that? Ding. Was that a real message?
You've got a new voicemail from, and it tells me the telephone number that they called from, and then it's probably going to do me one more time. Okay, there you go. What is happening is your reading gets sent to me as a text message. So whatever you read into the telephone, it's going to tell me what you read. So if you kind of take a look here at my screen, you're seeing here, he tacked it to the bulletin board. Safety tip number 77, never stand on a swivel chair. So do you see the text message? It's showing the message, never stand on a swivel chair. What you're reading from home, even though we're not here in school together. Now, if I go back to the computer, if you look here on the screen, there's today's date, 3/24, 2011, and at 12:10 p.m., if you look at the clock, it's 12:15, so this was 5 minutes ago, somebody called and left me a message. If I go into the file here, you can see what I said into the telephone. Now the thing with Google Voice is, it doesn't always pick up every word correctly. So the computer thinks this is what I said. I was going to ask, sorry, Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else and not Bill. Every time you thought of a new one, he found packaged to the bulletin board. They teach at number 77, never stand on a swivel chair. So you see how that doesn't make a whole lot of sense? Because the computer didn't know every single word, but it tried to type out as many words as it could understand that I said. But that's not really what I'm listening for, or that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm going to be able to hear you. And I'm going to go to the computer now, and I'm going to play my message that I just put into the telephone. So this would be me listening to you leaving a message. So I'm going to be able to go right here, and I'm going to download your message.
Is it a video?
It's going, no, it's not a video, it's just an audio file.
Oh, okay. That's an audio.
This is you would start reading after that tune. I'll just go ahead and I'll start reading. Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else in that bill. Every time he thought of a new one, he'd thumbtacked it to his bulletin board. Safety tip number 77. Never stand on a swivel chair.
Hear Ryan laughing?
Yeah.
So did you see how... Madison, I'm going to wait. Ryan, I'm going to wait. Do you see how you can call on the telephone, leave a message by reading a story to me, I can hear you reading. I don't need to read what you're reading, even though the computer will also do that for me. I want to be able to hear your reading fluently. And so I'm going to be listening to these files just like you listen to me. And I'm going to choose maybe one person every day to share with our class, or maybe one person every other day. But I'd like to be able to share with you some of the students in our classroom and how they are reading fluently. So you're going to take home this paper today, and your parents can read through this so that they know exactly what we talked about for our fluency lesson this afternoon. And if you want to practice reading something fluently for Mr. Michael, go ahead and call me once you've learned how to read it fluently, and leave a message. And maybe tomorrow I will pick your recording to share with our class.